Hello everyone, I'm Michael of Rolling a Double 20. And today we're going to be asking if you can beat Fallout New Vegas with a shovel. The short answer should be yes, but let's see the journey, shall we? Starting off, I decided to play as a woman, and I named her Digs-a-Lot, so I don't remember digging a whole lot. First things first was character creation. I obviously went with a strength and luck focus on my special stats. Perception and charisma were going to be useless, so I drained them. Next were my tag skills, and shocker, I picked melee. Hopefully I don't need to explain why. Unarmed to help get some perks, and medicine so I don't drain all my stim packs after each fight. And finally with traits, I went with good-natured and skilled. I did consider heavy-handed, but I needed as many criticals as possible. Once I was done looting Doc Mitchell's house, I made a beeline for the nearest shovel, the one near the water wells. One good thing about the shovel is that it has a very high HP, so I rarely had to repair it. And later on, we'll see that the shovel is also cheap to repair. My first stop in Good Spring was Chet's, and lo and behold, he had a shovel, so I didn't need the one by the water wells. Oh well, I bought it and as many stim packs as I could. I did go back and forth whether it was okay to sell and or use the DLC packs. However, I don't think they would have changed much, since there's plenty of ways to get rich in New Vegas. I did want some early XP, so I decided to do the Ghost Down Gunfight quest. I did need Joe Cobb to spawn, so I had Sunny bring me out and shoot some bottles. I did try to hit the bottles with a shovel, but it didn't work. Oh well, I shot the bottles anyway. Listen, bottles aren't alive, so this shouldn't be considered breaking the rules, okay? Lo and behold, Joe Cobb spawns and causes trouble. Let's see how well this shovel does against powder gangers. It went so well, I leveled up and took the Black Widow perk. I also checked to make sure the difficulty was on normal before leaving Good Springs. My first stop was Gene's skydiving, where I killed more powder gangers and a few geckos on my way to Prim. My first step into Prim was explosive. If you played in New Vegas, you know the drill. Rescued Deputy Beagle for info on Benny. Convicts here could definitely do more damage, but my shovel put them in an early grave. I did also want to test if this gameplay looked better in third person, so let me know. Strangely, the leader didn't have his normal incinerator equipped. I had to check the difficulty again, as that was way too easy. I couldn't convince Beagle to tell me of Benny, so after rescuing him, I just pickpocketed him. My next stop was to the Mojave Outpost, because I wanted some NCR rep and money, mostly. On the way, I ran into jackals in the police station. I stopped in and say hi and smashed their brains everywhere. I did have to be careful not to step on the mantises or I would break the rules of the challenge. And I forgot I had to talk to the Lieutenant Hayes to get the NCR dialogue from Major Knight. Well, while I was here, I might as well clear out the ants and scout Nipton for Ghost. Fighting the ants weren't much trouble. Once they were done, I headed towards Nipton. I got a nice workout along the way. Next were the jackals blocking the way. I didn't have a strategy, I'll freely admit. I'm breaking new ground here, okay? Melee isn't exactly my style. With both Black Widow and Chez La Femme have turned my girl bisexual. You may now praise me for such diversity. Soon Timus and Jacqueline had their little shootout, which worked out well for me, as I get more free stuff. I didn't want to listen to Oliver, so I just killed him. I don't think he would have dug the idea though. Just a guess. Now the temptation was there just to kill Volpa, but in no way did I think I could him out here. With that, it was time to return to Ghost and Jackson. Here I realized you need to talk to Hayes before the option to hand over Prim to the NCR appears. A few fast travels later, fixed it though. I fast traveled back to Nipton and put my shovel to use. My next stop was to Novak. The first obstacle was the ambush, and I ran by most of it, though not before this amusing death occurred. And the Legion just started a roast. The second obstacle was just this long walk. It was actually a very nice stroll, but it did end in yet another ambush. Once I reached Novak, I had the option to do the Come Fly With Me quest, or... well, time to leave. Bye, Novak. Next was Boulder City. Halfway there, I was attacked by yet another ambush. Man, they really need to bury their grievances. But one of them dropped reinforced leather armor, so I can't complain. Yellow Dorado gas station was nearby, so I did rest afterwards. I don't think my shovel is suited for digging black gold, sadly. I made it to Boulder City, where some great concepts have taken some hostages. Unfortunately, I didn't have this charisma or speech to resolve this peacefully, so time to bury the hatchet. Or shovel, in my case. I did talk with Jessa first just to see if there was a way to do things peacefully, and it was after this I maxed out my melee skills, and I put it to good use rescuing these hostages. The fight with Jessup was hardly that, though I did steal his bandana. It's mine now. I ran right through 188 and headed straight for Vegas. If I remember right, I did this for fast travel. Still, I didn't want to have to go through Freeside, so I went to Camp McCarran. Luckily for me, an NCR soldier died. Well, melted into goo and I stole his uniform. Not sure how I'm going to explain to the guards why there's green goo all over my uniform, but oh well. Time to get to the strip and handle Benny. I chose to expose Benny like he was a naughty YouTuber and opened up his closet. However, Benny must have caught wind of this and crashed my game. So after talking with Swank, he decides to put Benny in a timeout and orders me to discipline him. And I killed him before he could get a shot off. So now it was time to figure out which ending I should. Nah, it was the NCR.
I dig this crazy slang.
Well, someone was getting a handle on these shovel jokes. Here I chose to kill Volpez, but not before being interrupted by the very faction I choose. Since I'm siding with the NCR, I went to the Luck 38 to commit some regicide, and that level up gave me the Super Slam perk. Granted, I didn't have finesse just yet, so it only triggered rarely. So the other thing on the strip that the NCR will send me to is Gamora, to investigate it and dig up clues and secrets and conspiracy. Nah, fuck that, not today. Today, my shovel will whack these suits. I was very thorough. I killed Big Sal, even though I couldn't find Nero nor Cucino, but even Clandon and those downstairs died. I may have also glitched myself into a casino cage which required a reloaded save. Shush, it never happened. With that, the massacre was over, and Gamora was a little emptier. Eventually, I would have to deal with the Kings. I did sell my NCR uniform, unfortunately. On my way there, random gunshots went off. So that's what Chicago must be like. Well, this side quest must be completed for a peaceful outcome, so the King's first task is for us to dig up dirt on Oris, the bodyguard. Now, I could kill him, but being Shovel Master Investigator sounds way more interesting. Lo and behold, he stages his attacks to create a sense of protection from his clients. Once I finish snitching on Oris, the King tells me to investigate an assault. Turns out it was retaliation because Pacer assaulted NCR reps with plans to aid the needy in Freeside. See, Pacer's plan was to rally the people against the NCR to kick them out of Vegas. That would be hard to do if the NCR was feeding the hungry of Vegas. Was this a smart plan? No, not really. Exiting the fort, the door took a while to reach us. Unfortunately, I sold my NCR uniform earlier, so I had to go about this the longer way. I also ran back to Kieran naked, just so I could have more views. Yes, it's shameless. Go ahead and sue me. After getting the peaceful ending, it was time to deal with the boomers. On the way, I had to deal with your moms. I put George in the ground and took his money. Meeting Pearl, she tells me to make myself useful. I listened to Pete's folktale and asked Jack what has his hands cramped up, and I realized I didn't have the skills to help the patients or the solar panels, so I just dealt with the ants for now. Which was annoying, because without the sonic emitter, the ants just kept spawning in behind me, making this quite tedious. Once I returned to Raquel, I headed to the Chrism caravan to help Jack find some red carpet that he may dye white. This just involves a series of fast food travelings and dialogues. Hopefully this works out. Like I said earlier, I didn't have the medicine or the repair skill to get idolized by the boomers, so I just went off for a few level ups and decided to deal with the great cons. Only issues I had were some critters. Since I was gonna go through fiend territory, it only made sense to pick up the bounties, if I could cook and violent. And they were more hassles than challenges. An easy quest. Now, it looks like I could do a commitment and do other quests, but I'm too lazy for that. After surviving a Legion ambush, I went to the cons and killed everyone in the Longhouse. I forgot to kill Jack and Diane, which would cause a small inconvenience later. Anywho, I had just enough medicine skill with magazines to help the boomer patients, and that was just enough to help them raise the bomber. I know what you're thinking, but the detonator isn't a shovel. To that I would counter, what does a shovel do? It raises dirt. This detonator and the ballast raise past water. You could call them shovels of the sea, or lake. On the way, I managed to get the piercing strike perk, turning my shovel into the deadliest weapon in the Mojave. Next up was the Brotherhood. I was planning on killing them, but I remembered. They give you power armor training, and power armor. So I went off and got the 3 holotapes. Paladin Ramos asked me to deal with a ranger problem. One Babson buried and 3 scouts to find next. My original plan was to destroy the Brotherhood, but it felt like these techno-cultist cave dwellers understood my need to dig. Finding all 3 scouts was just a matter of walking near areas I already been, so then McNamara sends me to find 3 more things. Why, you may ask? Because even in one of the best games ever, the fucking stupid rule of 3 is goddamn near escapable. I didn't travel to any of the vaults beforehand, just cause I changed my mind. So first up was Vault 11. Only giant bugs and rats here, so not much worth going over. Vault 3 was fiending for a good Grand Slam. Also killed Motor Runner here, just for later. Lastly was Vault 22. Also grabbed the data while I was here, porting back to the Brotherhood, and they have one final task. And thankfully, it's not another Rule of 3 quest. Go to Black Mountain and interact with the Beep Boop station. Also killed Tabitha, just in case, just cause she was in my way. And I finally got some power armor. Though I did decide to save it until my combat armor broke. With that done, all my tasks with the NCR are already done. I just went back to Crocker, and this just turned into a series of fast travels, back to Old Faces, and then back to Crocker. Soon I was sent over to Moore, over at the dam, who then sent me to finish off the cons. Guess the NCR didn't want any commitments either. Moore then asked me to wipe out the Brotherhood. But since I did all their tasks, I just got them on board. It's also why I didn't replace McNamara with Harden. Well, so far this has been a typical NCR playthrough. I think this playthrough needs something a little extra, and I just have the thing in mind. Okay, as you saw in the montage, I did have trouble dealing with Caesar and his bodyguards. The issue was not my lack of melee experience, at least I don't believe so. The issue is that the shovel is a lot slower than the Praetorians' ballistic fist, meaning they could close whatever gap I made and stun me before I finished taking a swing. I just had to brute my way force with healing items and raw determination, but I did it. I almost destroyed one of the Mojave's powerful factions with a fucking shovel. Only 2 more things left, save Kimball and take out the Legate. But first I went on a shopping spree to refill my Stimpaks and do a few NCR quests. It's not really worth going over. My first attempt at protecting Kimball failed when I killed the Legion sniper too soon, and the rest of the NCR Rangers turned hostile and blew my head off. Just gonna let this clip play. And the game crashed again. So I went out and did a few things for the NCR just to make my second attempt easier. This time all went smoothly. Kimball was saved, and it was time to face the Legate. I gotta admit, the battle itself was a little disappointing as I easily dug through the Legion's assault. My first attempt at the Legate ended with this chaotic mess, and they managed to damage me faster than I could heal myself. Second attempt went much better. as I managed to knock him down and wail on him. Though I'm not sure which of these hits killed him. I went to Oliver, ending the game, and proving yes, you can dismantle one of the Mojave's most powerful factions with a goddamn shovel. If you came here looking for fire advice, honestly, just go with a melee build. I've been your host, Michael, and thank you for watching.